Saw Phil. Phil looks good, right?
Huh?
Did you see Phil? He's lost a lot of weight. He's all skinny. I feel like that man needs a cheeseburger after coming back from Africa, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that he had a special interest in his life.
Man's been in Africa, international man of mystery. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast, attempt 17.
100.
We are going to figure this out eventually, and we're going to have some good conversations on here once we figure it out. So, today, myself, Pastor Tony here, we have just got done with lunch with Phil. Phil's back from Africa. I actually think the last, high-quality podcast we got was Phil's last one here, and we have fought with this booger for the last 90 days while he's been in Africa, and hopefully we are able today to get a grasp on it and produce something. We're close. We're definitely close.
On the precipice.
All right, let's talk. Today we announced that we are going back to Coastal to do a campus there, back into the double wide trailer. Let's talk double wide trailer. Let's talk how incredibly ironic what God is doing here is inside of the double wide trailer. So I'm gonna give you a little background story. We started inside of a double wide trailer, had 8 people our first service. The trailer had kind of been gutted out and turned into a church. That's where my dad's church was meeting, and we kind of planted inside of his church. And so you and I spent 2 years we spent many years at the double wide, but 2 years leading this ministry that we are leading inside of that double wide trailer. And it sat probably 70, 80 people.
Packed.
Yeah. Had 2 small, 10 by 10 classrooms, couple bathrooms, and that was it.
Yeah.
And we spent 2 years there. Grew to about maybe 40 people, 50 people there. Now we had some big services, Easter and things of that nature, where we had, more packed in there, but that was probably our average coming out of the double wide. And now we have, so the guy who owns that property, ironically, now 15 years later, almost 15 years later, ironically, comes to church with us now and was at Meet the Staff lunch and is now tonight starting the membership process, coming to Starting Point tonight. And so he and I have been in conversations of, hey, would you ever consider coming back to the double wide trailer and starting a ministry, launching a campus to help Coastal, to kind of reach the college there. And so now we are going back officially, as school starts back, we're going to start this ministry up and going back to the double wide trailer to launch a ministry. Initial thoughts?
Just really cool, just how things come full circle on so many levels. Number one, the guy who owns it, who, we were never really involved with, but, through your dad, now that he's here, I just think it's really cool that this came full circle. Now, it wasn't that way back when we had some big giant impact, but through the years, just being faithful and doing what God's called us to do. Now he's here with us and offering us an opportunity. Really cool. The other thing is just kind of coming full circle with when we were there before, ministering to that age group. We were much closer to that age group and ministering to college kids, working move-in day and those kind of things. And the people that we reached there that were going to college then are now some of our leaders. Yeah. We just had Tobina come on as youth pastor, and Kyle Russell was on as youth pastor. He was one of the students there when we first started. It's really cool just seeing the growth in where we were ministering to that group then, and now going back and hopefully being able to start that cycle all over.
Agree totally. I have a heart for Coastal. I love Coastal Carolina. I know the impact that the church had on me even when I was in college. I didn't go to Coastal, but I was at Lee, and the impact that church in general, the local church body, had on me while I was in college, seeing things, experiencing things that I had never experienced before. I know that part of your life or that time of your life can be extremely beneficial, or the flip side of it, it can be it can truly run you away from the church if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And so hopefully we can get in there, carve out a little niche for us to reach some people and impact some people. And Carson Stout's going to do a phenomenal job. He's an incredible, just a gift. And so he's going to do an incredible job there. And I'm excited about it, man. I really am. I feel like this is one of those, whenever you go back to like your childhood home and you drive by it and then like there's somebody outside and they're like, hey, yeah, you're welcome to come in and look at it. And you actually go inside of your childhood home and you see like things that used to look huge whenever you were a kid. And then you look at it and you're like, wow, it's not nearly as big as it was when I was a child. That's how I'm feeling through this process. As I went in and looked at it the other day, I was like, man, this sanctuary used to look so huge and it's not nearly as huge as it used to look. But I'm excited about it. I really am. I'm excited about the possibilities and excited about the chance to go back to the place where it all started.
Yeah, for sure. I know a few years ago I walked into my uncle's house, who lives in the house that I grew up in when I was really young. Hadn't been there in a while, and my kids were with me, and we walked in, and I was like, hey, this used to be my bedroom. And they're like, no, really, that's just a closet. And I was like, no, it used to be bigger. Yeah. It was bigger. So the same thing. Yeah, when we go there, I think it's going to be eye-opening when we walk into those little, you can take out a measuring tape, 10 by 10. It's little, those classrooms. How do we fit that many kids in 10 by 10? So I know when we go there, it's just going to be really eye-opening of really how we did ministry there for so long.
So I know what many people who are watching this are thinking. They're probably thinking, what are y'all thinking? Because you're trying to launch a South campus and a coastal campus at the exact same time. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Why not?
There's just two completely different things.
It would be one thing if we had a lack of capable people. It would be one thing if we were stretching ourselves thin and pouring everything we had into the South Campus and didn't have anything. But like you said, they're completely different skill set. And Joseph, who's going to South Campus, is going to be absolutely incredible. But to put him over at Coastal, it would be out of his element. But you put Carson in there, and that's in his element. He'll thrive. So it's just completely different. And so God just really lined this up where it's going to be awesome.
He did. I agree totally. This is definitely a God thing. South Campus, we're going back to the building that we left to come here to 2901. We're going back to 3690 Palmetto Pointe Boulevard. And in that transition, we're bringing on Joseph Norris, who's a successful man of God, has done some... He's preached for us a few times. He's done a few things around here, and our people just love him. And he's been connected to this ministry a while and just has kind of asked for me to mentor him for about 7 years now. And so I've really invested in his life through the years. And so now we're at a place to where he's coming back, or he's coming here, helping us launch the South Campus. You were in the Conway journey, Conway campus journey, okay? We blame COVID for shutting down Conway eventually, but I always tell people church planting is the hardest thing I've ever done.
100%.
Campus planting probably equally as hard, if not harder. The good thing about campus ministry is you do have a home church or a hub church to pull from. But in the campus ministry concept, Conway being your filter that you're filtering things through. Somebody watching this today and they're like, I am super interested in being a part of a campus. So what would make somebody want to go to a campus at 3690 Palmetto Pointe Boulevard and not drive this much further here, or go to a coastal campus and not drive this much further here? What would make somebody want to make a campus their home rather than the central location? Coming from somebody who was on a campus.
I think a lot of it is certainly, we know, personal preference. Do you prefer, a larger congregation or a smaller congregation. Some people are just small church people. They want that. They want to be able
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. That's where we came from. We started with 8 people, so we've seen all sides. And so, some people just want to go in and know every single person and have a relationship. And those people thrive, I think, in that environment. For me, though, you become so useful when you step onto a campus, because you're here and people here when they volunteer are very specialized and very useful in that area. If you work on the safety team here, you are so valuable, but you can specialize those skills to safety. But at a campus, you walk on you walk onto that property and say, "Hey, I'm willing to volunteer. Give me a position." You're doing safety, but you're also ushering. You're also parking cars. You're also you might be teaching kids. If you're one of those people that I just love to help. I love to serve the Lord, and I'm just multifaceted possibly, then man, you can be so useful there and use several of your skill sets instead of honing in on just one. I mean, that's one thing.
Yeah, I agree totally. And even you talk about we're very specialized around here. Even safety, yes, but we even go down further than that. We're like, hey, you're in the cafe, but there's also you're in the cafe and you may be the bagel person in the cafe. Yeah. So you're not really even making coffee or, pouring coffee or, whatever. You may just be the person making bagels. So you're even more specialized, even inside of that one specialized ministry that you do. And all of those are so valuable, so extremely valuable. And in a large church, it's really easy to find a place, carve out your spot and say, this is what I do. Yep. In a smaller ministry, campus ministry, it's going to be very difficult to do that. You're going to have to be able to be a Swiss Army knife to a certain extent.
And some people thrive in that, and some people thrive in, hey, this is my thing. I want to sit on a factory. I want to do this one thing over and over and over, which is awesome. It's just all about what you're gifted in, your personality, what you enjoy. So, I mean, it really opens up an opportunity for us to minister to more people who honestly maybe didn't want to come over when we started the new campus and moved over and grew to a certain point. And I think some people were just like, man, I just a little too big for me.
Because those people are probably going to watch this podcast still. We've run into a few of them as we've talked about going back. They're like, we just weren't too thrilled with the big church, and so maybe they watch this podcast and they see, hey, they're going back to 3690. Let me see what they're saying. And so the drawback is we're going to have a campus pastor there that's going to love you. It's going to have incredible opportunities for you to serve. Everybody's going to know your name. You're going to be able to, you're going to be able to go back to that setting. And we talked about this whenever we left and came here. That's what everybody thought we were there. The only problem is we were doing that 4 times.
Yeah.
So you and I knew we weren't that.
Yeah.
But nobody else knew that we weren't that. We knew that we were way bigger than what we actually were. But inside of one service, people thought we were smaller churches or a smaller church because all they saw was their one service. Mm-hmm. And so going back, you can still have that small church feel and experience and be maybe feel more useful than you even feel here.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
You may not have felt useful. We know how useful you are here. Yeah. We valued you here, but you may not have valued yourself here as much as you could there on a campus.
Yeah, I think everybody can appreciate, just that small, close-knit community. People can appreciate it. And what's really cool about a campus right now is you have that small, close-knit community, as well as you're getting still great word, great ministry happening there, which when we first moved there from Common, moving from the trailer to that property, we didn't know what we were getting into. And we had to go over so many hurdles and we grew in so many areas. But now going in there where we're walking into that property and it was built up, and all the the sound and the media and everything there is stuff that we've installed over the last 10 years. And so we're walking in with a comfort level of being able to just hit the ground running. Yep. And so you're going to be able to just be ministered to in an incredible way. They have resources there, from the central campus that are really going to allow them to just really go full bore, and it's going to be really cool to watch.
Yeah, I agree totally. I think it's going to be incredible. Terrifying. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm full of faith. I'm full of questions. I'm full of a lot of stuff. And so, hopefully we're going to look back on this podcast and we're going to, years from now, say, man, that was certainly the hand of God moving, and they were wise to be able to take the steps and to do the things that they've done, and the hybrid process that we're going to use there. And I just really think, I hope and pray that we look back years from now and we say, man, we made some wise decisions.
I think we will. I think we'll look back and say, wow, what a great decision. The ministry that's been able to take place there is awesome. But looking back on that, everybody's going to be like, well, yeah, it was a no-brainer. You got a property there, no brainer. But I want it to be recorded now in this. It was not a no brainer. Yeah. That property is owned free and clear. We purchased this property, and the thought process was, okay, cool. We're going to sell that property and help pay down the mortgage here. And that's what we're going to do. That was the thought process the whole time. So this wasn't like a no brainer. This was a step of faith to then take that property off the market, which we'll be in the process of doing after the year's up. But this was not a no-brainer. This was a step of faith, and it's going to be cool to watch it play out.
Yeah, it's so oftentimes hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah.
So you look back on a lot of decisions we made that seem like no-brainers, from moving out of the double wide, going to 3690 to begin with.
Yeah,
seems like a no-brainer, except for to us, we understood how huge of a step of faith that was.
So scary.
Coming here, people are. I was just at General Assembly, and everybody's like, it's, man, no-brainer. God's favor's been upon you. You're like, are y'all kidding me? Like, this was a huge step of faith. Yeah. Now doing this, people are like, that's a no-brainer. And you're like, man, this is such a huge step of faith. And we're just trusting God and walking out where we feel like he's leading us and directing us, and there's a need. And so we want to help meet the need inside of the community. Yeah. I believe in the local church. If you know anything about me, you know that I've been hurt by church, and I don't hide that at all. Been hurt by church, and I understand when I found the healing that I needed from the hurt that I had received, I understood the bride of Christ. There is something special about the local church, and I want to be an advocate for the local church. I believe in the local church. I believe the local church is the thing that's going to change our communities and ultimately our country, our state, however far down the rabbit hole you want to go. I believe that it's going to start inside of the local church, ultimately start inside of the family, but then inside of the local church. I believe in the local church. And so for me, we could put a school over there and we could put a lot of things over there, but if you believe in something, if you believe something is so valuable, why wouldn't you put the thing that you believe has the most value inside of the community back over there?
Yeah, 100%.
And that's where I'm at. Let's put the thing that has the most value back in the place that needs it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And, I mean, all those things you just named out were possibilities. We've had a lot of interest in the property. And so, I just really think that this was one of those things that had to be a God thing. We're going to hear it when we launch. Oh my goodness, you're so close to that other property. Why would you do that? Why would you allow people to come from your central campus over there? All this stuff. We're going to hear that. But like you said, hindsight's 20/20. In a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when the property is housing a thriving church that is doing who knows how many services they're going to have to do to maintain what they've got there going on, but. It's going to be incredible to watch, but it's also going to have its detractors, people who question it. But I think that God has proven his faithfulness over the years.
Amen.
So,
agree totally. All right. Love you guys. Hey, thank y'all for joining us. Thank you for being a part of it. If you're interested in being a part of campus ministry, we're not done at 3690 or at Coastal.
Yeah.
We're moving on, Pawleys Island, Longs, who knows where else?
New York.
California, New York.
For you.
I believe in the local church. So let's put healthy churches everywhere we can. Yeah. All right. I love y'all. Thank you for being a part of it. If you're interested in campus ministry, reach out to us. We'd love to connect with you. Thank you for being a part of this. Love you guys. God bless. Let's go.